So, this is a great way for us to connect, especially if you're watching Jay Schwanke's Life in Bloom on PBS or you're watching my shows on ubloom.com. You can also come here and we'll be able to get together to do some fun projects together. Lately, people have been commenting so much about our beautiful arrangements that I make for Flower Cocktail Hour every day. And those are with flowers that come out of the garden. It's zinnia season and dahlia season, so I thought it would be fun to show you how to create a bouquet like this. And I don't want you to be intimidated. This is about you being comfortable and you being able to do something that's easy and fun and enjoy flower arranging. So we're going to make it really simple. I'm recording this for you, but I want to do these live and I'm just getting my groove on with all this. So we'll figure it all out. But I wanted to give you an idea of what it could be like for us to communicate this way. I think it's a great idea and I think it's a great opportunity for us. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a bouquet like this out of these beautiful zinnias. I've got zinnias right back here. A friend of mine, Craig, grows those zinnias and they're wonderful. He does such a great job. And so I get them every week and I make them into bouquets. Bouquets that I can have around the house, bouquets that I can share with friends, bouquets that I can give away as gifts. There's all sorts of things that you can do with them. But we do know that surrounding ourselves with beautiful flowers is going to make us feel better. Now, here's the other thing. This bouquet is 10 days old, right? This bouquet right here is 10 days old. And so many people are challenged with making their flowers last longer. So I wanted to share a few of those tips with you as well. One of the things we're going to learn in these sessions are the correct techniques and processes so that you'll have great success. I don't want you to invest in this and then not have a good experience. I want to make sure that it's always a great experience for you. So we're going to do that and we'll create an arrangement like this using some other foliages along with our zinnias. That's one of the secrets that's going to make this easy for you. So we'll set this guy back here for now as our little inspiration. And we're going to use a container like this. You might have a container around your house that you want to use. Could be one like this. This is round, this one's square. Doesn't make any difference if they're round or square. What I do like is being able to see inside them so I can see where my water level is. So I think that that's important. This opaque vase still lets me see inside there. If I can't see through the vase, I have to check it every day to make sure that it doesn't run out of water. One of the things that's really important is zinnias are thirsty. So they want to have lots and lots of water. So what I'm doing is I'm starting with this vase right here. It's a square vase, actually a rectangle. I filled it up with cold water. I didn't fill it up with warm water. I filled it up with ice cold water. That's an important first step because warm water has more air in it. And when we stick our stems down inside it, the warm water will also start to degenerate our stems. Think about when you get asparagus and you cook asparagus or green beans or something like that. You put it in warm water, it gets more tender, and the water turns a greenish color. That means that it's degenerating that and it's starting to create a perfect home for bacteria to grow. We don't want bacteria to grow in our water. That bacteria is going to make our flowers last less. So as if we can keep this bacteria free, we're going to have longer lasting flowers. Just like those 10-day zinnias right there. You're going to have great experiences. So we're going to start with putting flower food in the water. Now, you might have packets like this. If you do, follow the instructions on the back. I love using Kreisel Professional 3. It really truly is my favorite. I love this product. It's a liquid and comes with a pump top. You can get Kreisel Professional products on my website, ubloom.com/buy Kreisel, or go to the store on ubloom.com and go to the Kreisel section. There's also a code there that you can put in so you get a free treat when you order up from Kreisel too. So that's a great thing as well. So I know that there's about 1.5 liters in this vase. So one pump for 1 liter, and then I just pour off a little bit extra in there. All right, so that we don't get any drips going on. And that's going to be perfect. The thing I love about the liquid is that it assimilates to the water really quickly. If you're using the powder and using these sachets, make sure that you mix it up completely before you start arranging your flowers. I think that's important. Now, here's one more secret. Because our zinnias have fuzzy stems, they're what I call dirty stems. And so those stems want to create bacteria faster when they're underwater because of all those little fuzzy hairs on them. So we've got a cure for that. It's the CVBN tablets. This is also from Chrysal. Sometimes people call them Gerber pills, okay? And they're a little tiny pill. They look like that. Look at how little that is, right? And I'm going to drop one of those in my water. And what that's going to do is it's going to create a pool like activity inside there. These actually smell like chlorine from the pool because they're chlorine tablets. That's what they do. And they're going to help keep the bacteria level down inside our water. Now, another thing that's going to be important as we go along is I have bottles like this that I fill up with water. It's 1 liter. It's a repurposed bottle. It's actually a liquor bottle. Okay. And I fill it up with water. I put 1 pump of my Chrysal Professional 3 inside there. And then I have these standing by inside my refrigerator to top off my arrangements. So when I'm getting ready to do that, the day of, I'll drop one of these Gerber tablets inside there. The cool thing about the Gerber tablets is they last for 3 days. Okay, so that one down inside here is going to be good for 3 days. But I'm going to show you how to top off our 10-day-old arrangement a little bit later. So I put that pill inside here so it'll dissolve. Okay, we'll set that off over here. So first steps: clean vase, cold water, Chrysal Professional 3, and a CVBN tablet. We're all ready to go then. All right, so now we've got this. We're going to start with foliage in our container as opposed to flowers. What we need is we need a structure to create things in. Now, I could have used foam inside here. I could have put a grid work across the top, but I want to show you a really super easy way with things that you might have in the garden. So what we're going to do is we're going to use these foliages. Now, I brought them up here. We've got some hosta leaves. We've got some coleus. I love coleus, and people ask about that all the time. Sure, you can use coleus in your arrangements. I plant half a dozen different varieties so that I can use those in my arrangements to help make my arrangements even prettier. I love it because it's a colorful foliage. We're also going to use 2 different types of scented geranium. I have one that looks kind of velvety, and I have the regular citronella that looks kind of like coral or something like that. And then I've got some basil inside here. Now, I put these in this vase, but I wanted to show you. Look at that. See those leaves under that water line? Those leaves that are down inside that vase, down here under the water, are going to cause bacteria to grow in my water. So that's not a good thing. So I just stuck those in there because I cut them in the garden right now. But we're going to take them out of there, and we're going to use them individually in our arrangements today. All right, so we've got a little vase. We'll put that back over here. Now, I want to talk to you about tools. We're going to use tools. Now, somebody called me the other day on Facebook or something and said, hey, you know what? You weren't using a knife. I thought you were a professional florist. I do use this as a professional florist, and I was trained as a kid to start cutting with knives, and I've cut with them my entire life. But I feel that sometimes it can be intimidating to think about cutting with a knife because you're afraid. And that's okay. We don't need to use a knife. We're going to use my 2 new favorite tools. I've really become accustomed to these, and I really love them. They're the Dram bypass cutter. And look at it, it looks like that. And it's got a great little blade that bypasses the other one. This is the Color Point Bypass Pruner from Dram. These are available at your independent local garden center. So you can go to a garden center and pick these up. They come in 6 different colors, and I love them. The other one that we're going to use is the Color Point Pruner, and it has a very pointed, very detailed little nippers, and it fits your hand really well too. If you're a lady with delicate hands, this is a nice compact pruner that you can use as well. So it's a great way for you to work with that. We're going to use both of them today. They both come in the 6 colors, so you can pick your favorite color. And again, look at any independent local garden center to pick up those tools. So we'll be using those today. Now here's the other thing. I'm working on a turntable, so I can turn this around so we can show you what's going on. So I hope that you really like that and that you're going to be able to see well. But I can't sit down when I design. I design better standing up, okay? So I'm going to stand up, and I'm still going to give you tips and tricks, but it's going to cut my head off, all right? So we'll be able to see exactly what's going on in the arrangement, okay? So let's get started. I'm going to move the chair out of the way. And we've got our foliage. So we're going to start with our foliage. Again, I told you I have this is a beautiful hosta. I love it. It's lime green, and it's one of my favorites this year. I got this in a little collection I planted a couple years ago, and they're finally getting big enough to trim off of. We're going to use 2 different types of scented geranium. And so with this one, this is the regular scented geranium that's kind of velvety looking. And this is the one that looks a little bit like coral. I told you it has a little bit more pattern and a little bit more scallop to lacy look to the leaves. We're going to use some basil. This is the African blue basil. It's my favorite. I love it because it's purple on the backside and it has these beautiful blooms in there. I think it makes it look wild, garden flowery, and also has an incredible fragrance. And then I trimmed off a couple pieces of coleus. I love this one. It's in the shade right now and it's been cloudy lately, so it's a little more lime green. It can be very yellow. I love the little detail on it too. So that's going to be pretty inside here as well. We're going to start with those foliages. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with some bigger pieces of the hosta. I've got 3 big leaves and 1 little leaf. I'm going to hold that little leaf for later on, and we'll use the 3 big ones to start with. So I'm going to cut those, drop them down inside there. Notice how I want it to sit right on the edge of my vase. I'm going to put 3 of these in here. Oh, I have 5. Look at that. I got 5. Awesome. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put 1 in each corner then. Since I have 5, we'll put 1 in each corner. See how that slick that works? I've got 1 in each corner of that vase. If you were using the round vase, you could just gather them around there too. I love the way that they look. These have a couple little holes in them too. I love that because that means the bugs liked them too. It was wonderful. All right. So now we're going to go next with our basil. Now, here's the issue. Look at these leaves that are down here at the bottom. We're going to pull those leaves off. Or if you wanted to use your compact pruners, you could just trim them off real close too. So there's that. So do whatever you like. I like to pick them off. I'm definitely a tactile guy. So I'm going to pick those and pull them off. I like to work with my hands. So now look at that stem's nice and clean. And we're going to stick that in the middle of our bouquet. Now look at that. See how that works? Middle of the bouquet. Perfect. What we're doing is we're building a structure that's going to hold our zinnias in place. Okay? That little structure. So next, we're going to start with the scented geranium here. Now, here's an interesting thing. Look at how long this is. I can make 2 pieces out of that. Now I've got 2 pieces that are going to go in. Makes it go a little bit further. I'm going to put 1 on one side of my basil. I'm going to peel this off because I don't want it to go below the water line. We want that area to stay clean and clear down there. We don't want any of those leaves down in there. Okay? And then we've got our other one. And again, even little tiny leaves like this need to come off of there because that could cause a problem for us. So we're going to cut that. And you'll notice now this was growing in the garden like this. See how it was growing like that? And I'm just going to use it off to its side over here. So now we've got that. Look at that structure. Isn't it nice? It's really pretty. Okay. And our coleus. Now I'm going to reserve 1 coleus with my 1 hosta for later. And we're going to use 1 now. So again, leaves have to come off. They're going to fall below the water line. We're going to cut it. And I'm going to put it opposite of that last scented geranium I tucked in there. So now we've got it on one side. You know what? This makes me think that maybe another time we'll visit and we'll make just a foliage arrangement. So we won't make an arrangement that has any flowers in it. I love those, especially when it comes to fall time. So maybe that'll be our next project. We might do that. That sounds good. So I'm just going to throw away my extra mess that I have here to kind of keep my mess eliminated. I've got my 1 other coleus and my 1 other hosta. I'm just going to set them in that vase back here so that they can wait and be in water until we need them in a little bit. All right. So now we're going to start with our zinnias. And look at those. Look how pretty they are. We're just going to use an assortment of colors. Now, sometimes I go color-based with them so that we can just have it be specific. And actually, our bouquet over here is very mixed, so maybe I will go color-based with this today. Maybe I'm going to just kind of do these jewel tone colors since I've got that purple colored basil in there. I think that'll be real good. So look at how good those guys are looking together. We'll use those. We'll use those. We'll use these. I'm going to pull that orange one out. And we'll grab a couple more pink and purple ones. Okay. That looks great. Now, what's interesting about this too is using that lime green with these is going to make those colors bubble up. And that's going to be really pretty. So, we're going to start with our bigger flowers. So I'm going to dig through there and I'm going to grab this large one right there. Okay, look at how big he is. And what we're going to do is I've got a really interesting thing on this stem right away. If you'll notice, I can cut right here and I've got a bud. And then look at here, I've got a bud still on this one as well. So that's going to be super helpful. So we're going to pull those leaves off below the water line, and we're going to stick this into the vase. Now, what you're going to notice is that it's going to stick up a little bit higher, and then I can use this piece as another addition of support inside there. Okay? So look at, he's sitting up there, and that's about the tallest one we're going to use inside there. Now, let's get one down at the base so that we know where the bottom of the arrangement's going to be. It's going to be down here, okay? So we've got that. Then we've got another one. Now, here's one of the things I want to show you about zinnias. Sometimes they'll get that little kink in their neck. And even if I would support him and put him in here, that vascular system is damaged there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have to reserve him and save him and put him in a little short vase later on. So I'm putting him right there for right now. So just remember that when you're looking at your zinnias and stuff, you want to make sure that everybody's got a good stable neck. So here, we've got another big one. We're going to cut this one. Going to remove that leaf. And look, we're going to put this guy over here. So look, now we've got those 3 different zinnias inside there, and they actually form a triangle. 1, 2, 3, triangle. And that's going to help us arrange better. Now look at this one. Again, this one has one flower in there, and then this piece that can be used as a foliage accent. It can be another piece of support in our arrangement. And then we'll use our zinnia down in close on this side. See where that peach one went? Now here's the other thing about arranging flowers, and I want you to be attentive to this because I think it's super important. When we're arranging flowers, we should enjoy the process. We should be watching as we do this, but the cool part about this is having flowers in our home helps improve our well-being, our health and wellness. There's health and wellness benefits to having flowers in our home, but there's also health and wellness to arranging our flowers. And so what I typically do is on Sunday afternoons, I'll turn on my favorite jazz station, I'll listen to jazz music, and I'll arrange my flowers at the same time. I'll grab a cup of coffee, or if you want to grab a cup of wine, that's fine with me too. I have whatever you want. Pick your favorite thing and enjoy that and make some time for yourself to have fun with the flowers and enjoy the process. Now look, I'm going all the way around the outside and I'm building those up and slipping those in between. This was our first flower. This was our second flower. And this was our third flower. So I'm going in between those flowers. And right now we have 2, 4, 6, 8. So let's add a couple more. Again, I'm removing those leaves. We're going to go right there. So we fill in that spot. And notice how there's a hole right there. See that hole? You can see that hole right there. Yep. We're going to go into that hole with this one. So we're going to cut it a little bit shorter, remove those leaves, and drop it right down inside there so that it sits down a little bit below those and fills that in. That gives depth to our arrangement. Okay, so now we have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Oh, look at this one. We got a little bit more of that fun foliage that we can use. And I want to use it right back here. And now what we're going to do is we're going to take this guy and see, I need that right here. So I'm going to go in there. See how that filled that in? That's so nice. Looks like we need another one over here too. So this is going to be our 12th one. I think it's interesting because in the US, we deal a lot with 12s and dozens and things like that. But in other parts of the world, they don't always necessarily do a dozen. They might do, 14, or they might do, 16 or 25 or whatever. We're going to actually use 15 today. So I've got 3 more that we're going to put in. This one, see on this backside, see how we don't have as many flowers facing on that side as we do on this side? And we want this to be all around. So we're going to go right there. I love how this is a different color, and then this, and they're all just a few shades apart. I just think that that's pretty stunning. Here we go. We're going to take those leaves off again so that down under our water, we don't have those leaves. There we go. And then I think this one actually needs to go here because I want a little brighter color on this side, right? So see how I look at where that's going to go, and then I determine how long I'm going to cut that stem. I peel off those bottom flowers just to make sure they don't go below the water line. And there we go. Now, I think we can bring in our piece of coleus right there. Look at how great that looks on that side. And now it balances out the one we have on the other side. And look, right here, this little spot right there, that's what we reserved this piece of hosta for. It's going to go right down in between those leaves and into the water so that it fits up right down in there. See, we can see where that goes. That pretty little hosta down inside there. Now, isn't that nice? It's a beautiful little bouquet, great colors. If you wanted to, you could add more than this. I think 15 is a great number for us. If you wanted to put 25 in, if you wanted to put 30, whatever you want to do, or how big your vase is. You could have a bigger vase, or you could have a smaller vase. You could use 5. So yeah, lots of different opportunities there. So now looking at this bouquet, and here's our other one, our 10-day-old bouquet, right? Look at how pretty that looks. So this is what it starts out like. And here's the secret, is that we don't have any leaves below the water line. No leaves there and no leaves here. Now see, my water level's getting down a little bit right there, okay? And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my water that I had from my fridge. I go through every day, just pull it back a little bit, and I add some water. That's why I want to be able to see inside there so that I can make sure that I'm always topping it off. I'm never going to take my flowers out. I'm never going to recut them. I'm not going to take that other water out. I'm just going to top off every day because there's nutrients and things inside here, including my CBBN tablet, that's going to make these flowers last longer. I think it's interesting because people will sometimes ask me how long a bouquet like this is going to last. And a bouquet like this can last a long time. It can sometimes last, you know, 2 or 3 weeks. So I think it's a great opportunity for us when we think about that. So let's chat about this for half a second and we'll just recap what we did. All right. So we've got our pretty bouquet right here. We started with our structure. We put our stems in cold water with our Chrysal Professional 3 and our CVBN tablet that's going to help reduce bacteria. Some people ask me, they're like, can I use Clorox instead? Clorox doesn't work like this. This is a time-released bacteria agent, okay? It's like chlorine that you put in your swimming pool. Clorox can stain our clothes. It could be dangerous. You have to worry about where you're going to get rid of it. This is like pool water, okay? Super safe, and it's going to keep that bacteria in check. So it's really wonderful. So Chrysal Professional 3, we've got our CVBN tablet. If you want to use packets of food, you can use those too. Remember to follow the instructions on the back. There's always instructions, and measure it accurately because that's important. We're going to use our tools. We used our tools from DRAM. We used our little compact pruner, and we used our bypass cutter. We removed any leaves that would fall below the water line, and we placed our flowers in. We saved 2 pieces of foliage, and we put them in at the end as an accent so that we have a beautiful flower arrangement. Again, we're going to remember to take our time. We're going to enjoy ourselves. We're going to put on our favorite music, get our favorite drink. We're going to have fun doing it. Guys, if you did this in the garage and brought it in, I promise you, your wife is going to be so excited. Proven studies tell us that homes that have flowers in them have less arguments. So that's another great reason for you to do beautiful things like this. I love to get these things together and look at this beautiful stuff because I think it's a really good opportunity for us to learn about flowers. These are going to be live. Okay. This one was pre-recorded because I wanted to see how it worked and I want to be able to work with you and see what's going to go on with it. But we'll do the live ones and then you can ask questions in the comments. And when you're looking at this online and telling me what you think, put when you'd like to see this. Do we need to do it on Sunday afternoons? Do we need to do it on Tuesday mornings? What do you want to see? I also think that we could create some really good videos where we can just ask me anything, okay? Where we'll just open it up for questions and you can decide. I've had great people who are already commenting. So I wanted to show you how easy it is to create this. My friend, the Swamp Witch, said to me, you could give me the flowers and the vase and I wouldn't ever come close to that. But I don't think that's true. I think that you can be skilled just like me. All it takes is practice. It just takes practice. And I have faith in you. I want to see what you create too. My friend Claudia Dinwiddle always sends me pictures of the arrangements that she makes. And I love seeing those. So it's a great opportunity for us to connect. I know this is a little bit different because we're doing it over social media. So maybe our clarity isn't quite as clear as it is when you're watching You Bloom or you're watching Life in Bloom. You can watch all the Life in Bloom episodes on your local PBS station, or you can also watch them on the You Bloom website. Our You Bloom website too, we have 1,800 different videos that teach you how to arrange flowers. And you can go there and our monthly memberships are $3.99 a month, $3.99, or you can do an annual membership for $38.40. And we have a special discount code on the front page right now. So if you go, you get 50% off. So make sure you put in that discount code. And if you hit auto renew, you get to keep that rate forever. So that's a good opportunity as well. I look forward to chatting with you here. I love that you guys are always giving me feedback. I try and answer all comments personally, so that's really important to me. And I hope today that you had some fun arranging flowers with me. Let's keep that up and let's make a date that we can start doing it every week. Okay? Until next time, keep having fun with flowers.